Ladies, gentlemen, arena managers, and battle-hardened warriors. My name's Timoredbeard and I'm back with another video, another mod spotlight. Today we're looking at CLLC, or Creature Level and Loot Control, one of the most important mods in the modding community of Valheim, as far as I'm concerned. If you do like this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing, and don't forget to press that notification bell. I do stream on Twitch, links in description below. Let's go check out this mod. Creature Level and Loot Control is a mod that gives you an incredible amount of customization and control over the Valheim world that you play in. You can change everything from HP increases per player in multiplayer, damage increases per player, and that is how much creatures have HP or how much damage they deal depending on how many players are on the server, multiplayer scaling player count, and so much more. There are an infinite wealth of different options here to control, and some of them are more admin side and some of them are far more player side. Chapter 2, which details creatures, allows you to control the level up chances, and that's the chances of them to get additional stars when they spawn. They're spawning with special effects, and that's what you saw in the intro, with them being on fire and icy and poison and running around and being all scary and dangerous. And then, of course, there is visual indicators for this. And then also elemental infusions. And these can be individually toggled on and off. And the spawn chances for these things can also be adjusted down further in Chapter 6, where you can control what the spawn chances are for aggressive, curious, quick, regenerating, splitting, armored, fire, frost, poison, lightning, spirit, chaos. The sheer amount of control and customizability that CLLC gives to you in controlling your world and being able to give you an environment to make challenge runs and awesome, fun, wild worlds in the world of Valheim is incredible. This mod is a must-have if you're planning on creating any kind of modded challenge run, and it pairs incredibly well with epic loot. CLLC also allows you to control the power level and the effects of bosses, being able to determine what their star chances are, meaning that you can have 3-star, 4-star, 5-star bosses, and you can also give them their own special effects. And those special effects come in many different forms. Reflective causes bosses to deal damage back to you when you hit them. Shielded protects bosses from ranged weapons, meaning you have to get in there and hit them with melee weapons. Mending means that they start to regenerate health constantly, meaning that the only way to beat them is to keep pounding them over and over and over, and if you take a break, you know they're going to heal up very quickly. Summoner spawns monsters around it, adds if you might, that help it in defending itself against you, and this is done based on the percentage of health it has. Every time it goes down a chunk, it spawns new adds into the fight. Elementalist deals massively increased elemental damage, most effectively seen on Moda and Yagluth, who do predominantly frost and fire damage individually. The elementalist affix for those bosses can be incredibly dangerous. Enraged makes it unblockable and also increased physical damage. And Twin is probably one of my favorite affixes. It spawns 2. They share a health bar, but there are 2 of them, which means there are 2 lots of attacks that you have to watch out for and double the amount of damage that is incoming. And now, of course, you can change these values. You can adjust them to your heart's content, really tailor making and customizing the content for you and your journey in Valheim. There is also a loot control part to CLLC, which makes sense considering it's creature level and loot control, which allows you to change the loot system. For instance, it has 4 loot systems available: vanilla, linear, calculated chance, and calculated amount. And as you can see on the screen there, each of those does different things. There is also sliders allowing you to choose additional loot per star for creatures and for bosses, multiplier for dropped items, being able to drop multiple trophies for both creatures and bosses, passive creature drops, and then even respawn times. And CLLC adds respawn times for everything. In the vanilla game, boar stones don't respawn boars after you first come across them. In CLLC, they do. In CLLC, you can set up for dungeons and crypts and mountain caves to respawn both the creatures inside them and the loot that they have and you can set the interval, with 20 being one in-game day. And as you can see here, I have it set to 140. So basically once every in-game week, all of the dungeons respawn, which is an awesome thing. Now, there are many, many settings in CLLC for you to discover and play with, and I'm not going to go through all of them right now, but I highly recommend you check it out. There is one more thing that CLLC does that is really the thing that makes it stand out above all other mods, and that is the YAML files. If you see up here, you see edit creature YAML config and edit item YAML config. And if you click on one of these, you see you actually enter a YAML editor, which you can then edit while still in game, like so, and it will automatically update, and you can control absolutely everything. So here I've set for, this is my Valheim config. All creatures take 0 damage from bows using these 3 lines. And then all creatures have attack speed per star is 0.1, movement speed based on star value, 1 star 1, 2 star 1.4, 3 star 1.0. The values are confusing, I know, but don't worry about it too much. Their attack speed, their damage, and then individual creatures like trolls have their health reduced. Eikthyr is 5 stars. Swamp creatures have their health per star damage and damage per star reduced. Moda has Summoner completely removed in Valheim because it would be an absolute nightmare for drakes to keep spawning over and over when you can't use a bow. Bone Mass takes increased lightning damage to encourage you to take elemental weapons into dealing with Bone Mass. There is so much that you can do with the YAMLs, and again with the item config here, I have all sorts of different settings here. Stack factor. The stackability of items means that everything stacks to 2.5 times the normal stack size. So wood, that normally stacks to 50 in the vanilla game, stacks to 125 now. There are infinite possibilities for things. Amount changes how much you loot from something when you break it. If you chop down a tree, you get 3 times the amount of wood because wood's amount 3. And all of these things are things that you can change. Weight factor of items, make everything weigh a bit less so you can carry a lot more when you're off on your adventures. Specifically, make dragon eggs weigh a lot less so that you can carry them without having to only be able to carry one around at a time. CLLC is one of the most important mods for Valheim for quality modded play. It allows full customization and control of the game to make it how you want it to be. It is really well paired with epic loot, with all the increased difficulty that comes out of increasing the CLLC monsters. Epic loot, weapons, and items allow you to deal with that on a balanced level and have a really awesome, interesting world to be a part of. If you have liked this video, please hit that like button, consider subscribing, and don't forget to caress that notification bell. I do stream on Twitch, links in the description below. Peace out, take care.